Sheri Sobrato went through Stanford on the fast track and plunged into a high-end career in investment banking, then onto a Silicon Valley startup. But at the age of 24, everything changed. She's now the founder of the Digging Deep Project, a nonprofit designed to help young patients, ages 13 and older, learn to live with serious medical conditions. It all began with a book, a guided journal, that helped them work through the emotional and psychological challenges of their conditions. 3 years later, this morphed into a video game, Shadow's Edge. It's the first mobile app designed for young people to tap into their own healing power through the process of personal narrative.
At age 24, I was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor, and one that nobody had lived more than 6 months. The first thing I thought is, I've got to get through this. So I made a decision to become the power coper, to work hard and do everything I could as a patient to help myself. Do. You know, I was going to get better, and I had a strategy to do that, which was a way I had solved many problems in my life before. I thought I was doing everything right. I honestly didn't really even shed a tear. What happens with feelings that are left unacknowledged or unexpressed is they can come out even in a bigger way than they might have otherwise come out if they had been dealt with at the time. And it's kind of like, I remember hearing in school that the analogy of somebody pushing a ball underwater and trying to hold it, and you're like holding, and then all of a sudden, you know, it comes up and bursts up higher than it would have come before it. And when an unrelated medical crisis came up and I was a patient again, a lot of those feelings that I had never acknowledged came bubbling up to the surface. And then once the anger started bubbling up, then there was overwhelming sadness, because I had never acknowledged the loss side of things, never acknowledged being different than the other people. So that's, when I say process feelings, they needed to be experienced, and I needed to cry. So I think my first big surprise was that I had all the feelings to be in the first place. I'm like, where did they come from? Because I was completely unaware that I had stuffed them, or that there was any sadness there, or anything that needed to be worked through. And by that, I didn't do anything conscious to work through them as much as just allow it to happen. I think naturally I'm a thinker type. That wasn't working. There was a part of me that just needed to feel. It's hard, and sometimes we get in these patterns with people where we can't do it in the normal, natural way that's really ultimately the best way. So the next best way, I think, is to have a safe place where you feel you can do that bit by bit when you're ready. And some people do journal writing, for example, to help you put words to those feelings that you're having and to help you move forward and incorporate those into your story of who you are.
So that's when you came up with the idea of a journal, I take it.
Yes, I had a friend Rose Offner, who had other journal writing tools. So we teamed up and we came up with a journal called the Digging Deep Journal, and was given to hospitals all over the country. And it was a way for patients to work either with a professional at the hospital, with their parents, or older teens and even kids over 12 could work through this book that was beautiful. It was a place to capture those stories. I mean, these kids have incredible stories of courage and hope.
So do you see kids open the journal and start transforming or opening up?
Typically, I see people do is flip through the pages. They may not even know what they're going to write about, but what would happen is they start writing, and as they start writing, they start noticing stuff, and then they keep going, and by the end, they notice, they feel like they're in a different place than where they started. And yes, sometimes tears come, but what I've discovered is they're incredibly proud of their stories, and they immediately want to read it to somebody and say, look, this is what I want to share. And they're empowered. But I thought this could be a more creative, fun, and interactive process for kids. And I hired some people that were gamers, and they said, don't make a journal, don't make a digital journal, make it a game. Make it a game with characters and world and stories. Modern games are like stories, they're like movies, but then you learn things as you interact with it. You can go any direction you want to go. And it makes content a lot more accessible and fun. And then the process of putting words to feelings and expressing yourself is a learned skill. And it's my hope that by doing so in a game, that they'll be able to do that in the real life too. I want to become a digital therapeutic. I want people to recognize the power of a game to teach, to deliver mental health and self-help content to youth. Other people have asked me, what did my cancer bring me, for example? And I have to say freedom. And I think the one thing that sick kids have taught me is strength doesn't mean just being up all the time, or it doesn't mean just putting up with this pinch or this prick of a needle. It means being real and facing the world with perseverance.
Do you know someone who has overcome significant hardship and has an inspiring story to tell? Someone who has sacrificed or given over and above to the community and deserves some recognition? If so, please contact us with your nomination for next year's Local Hero Awards. To find out more about our local heroes and to watch interviews with all the winners, visit our website, midpenmedia.org. At the Mid-Peninsula Community Media Center, you can make your own videos and television programs and take classes in all aspects of media production. You can also hire our professional services team. To find out more about that, go to mcproservices.com. Congratulations to all our winners, and thank you for watching.